The YSL update is going to be very short this week because they only had pretty much 1 day of a trial, and then they went on break for they went a little spring break. So, of course, Adrian Bean is on the stand still, and it was time for cross-examination. So Brian Steele went up there on cross-examination, and I'm not going to lie, I did not expect it to be that hostile. Am I the only one who was a little bit shocked at how hostile Brian Steele was being? And Adrian Bean was kind of pushing back too. He was like pretty much on some, why you keep asking me the same thing? I answered that already. Adrian Bean was giving it up like that. Brian Steele was giving it up like, why you keep lying about not forgetting stuff? About forgetting stuff. This, you remember it. I don't get why you lying. Like Brian, they was getting at each other. I don't know what in the world. I felt like when Adrian Bean was being direct examined from the prosecution, and I don't even know if that's how you say it, direct examined, but on direct examination, Adrian Bean didn't give the prosecution, I don't think, anything that they could use to help. He didn't help the defense, but I don't think he helped the prosecution either. He just didn't answer nothing. So I didn't expect Brian Steele to go so hard like that. And what Brian Steele seems to me like he was doing is, all right, so the entire time is I'm about to impeach. I just want to impeach him. I want to let it be known he's a liar. He's lying. He's saying he don't remember nothing. And that's not true. So he's lying, I'm guessing, so that when that jail call gets played, and shout out to the person that commented on last week's video and said that jail call will be played, and it will be played when Detective Quinn testifies. And at first, before Monday, I didn't agree with that. But then when I listened to Brian Steele's cross-examination of Adrian Bean, I agree. So shout out to y'all. And that's why I say, if I say something wrong or if I say something that you disagree with, or if you think my prediction is incorrect, put it in the comments because I'm for sure reading it. If you're right, you're right. What can I say? So I think that person that commented was correct. They're going to use the phone call from the jail phone call when Detective Quinn comes up. So I'm guessing Brian Steele is going this hard to make this guy look like a liar so that they, when they play that jail call, they can say, this dude is lying. He's clearly lying. He's lying so much that even after he said what he said on the jail call, they never charged Young Thug or Jeffrey Williams with this. If y'all so-called had one of the suspects telling you that somebody else did it, if that was truthful, y'all would have charged him way back then in 2015 when this case got handled. But y'all didn't. And now y'all are trying to come in 2024 and make it seem like he was involved in this shooting case. I saw another comment that said that at the time that all this was happening, I guess back in 2013 when Young Thug was like on the come up or whatever, he was saying, the comment was saying that it was kind of a known thing and it kind of helped boost Young Thug's name up that he was involved in a police shooting. So that's what somebody who commented said. I'm not familiar with that. I was in Virginia when this was going on, so I wasn't familiar with this. I don't even think I knew who Young Thug was. I knew some of his songs, but I didn't know who he was yet. I knew the music, not him. So Brian Steele is definitely going hard to say like he's impeaching. Also, not only was it just 1 day, it wasn't even a full day of trial. They pretty much went from like 11 o'clock to like 1:30 or something like that. It might not even have been that long, but it didn't last long at all that day. So it's a very short recap. And then that'll be it on that. But so, yeah, Brian Steele is he even asked Adrian Bean, and this was crazy to me because of the way Adrian Bean responded. He asked Adrian Bean, do you want to go back to jail or do you want to go back to prison?
I'm asking.
What do you mean, so do I want to go back to prison?
You don't want to go back to prison, do you?
If I had to go, I would. I went to prison.
Do you want to go back?
I've been to prison before.
And Adrian Bean said, I will if I have to. So pretty much Brian Steele asked him multiple times, do he want to go back to prison? And Adrian Bean was just confused by the question. He's just like, what? Pretty much, why are you asking me that? Like, I don't even know what you mean by that. That's pretty much what he kept saying. Like, I don't know what you mean. Then eventually, as Brian Steele asked the question, do you want to go back to prison? He was like, I will if I have to. That was so strange to me because, I guess it's not strange because he's a former street dude and he's just trying to say like, y'all not going to be able to intimidate me with jail. Pretty much, I've been to prison before. It is what it is. That's pretty much how he was answering the question. Like, it is what it is. If y'all gonna send me to prison, then do what you got to do because I'm still gonna answer these questions the way I'm answering them. That's how he was on it. So I'm like, Brian Steele was going at him, but he was going right back. So I don't know what this was. Like I said, this is just more entertainment, like for the circus. And it's not necessarily just entertainment because people's lives are on the line here. Their freedom is on the line. But the way this case is going, it looks like they're just trying to set it up for some TV show or movie to come. That's how outlandish some of the stuff is that's going on in this courtroom. So let me look at my notes, see if there was anything else I wanted to touch on about this. Okay. So now the key to Brian Steele. Now, just like when Adrian Bean was being examined by the prosecution, he was saying, I don't know, I don't recall, I don't remember that. He was doing that same thing to Brian Steele until Brian Steele brought up, so when I met up with you last year to investigate this trial here, because you were a witness, when I met up with you to interview you in January of 2023, you walked this whole thing through with me. You told me everything about this situation. Do you remember that conversation? Of course, Adrian Bean says, I don't remember that. I don't know I don't remember none of the stuff I said to you. So Brian Steele, of course, he's frustrated. He's asking him more and more questions. He's like, I don't recall that. Asking more questions. I don't recall that. Doing the same thing that he did to Adrian Love. They both, maybe they had an Adrian connection. Adrian Bean and Adrian Love. But anyway, so as he's doing that, then he said, so are you telling me that you didn't tell me that that the police were targeting Young Thug because he had a lot of money and he would be a big catch? And that's when Adrian Bean cracked. He said, no, wait. There was something else actually before this. There was something else before this where he said, I didn't say that. I can't remember it. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go back and grab a clip and try to put it in here if I can remember. But Brian Steele said something, right? And maybe it was incorrect, or I don't know if Brian Steele said it wrong on purpose or what. But Adrian Bean said, I didn't say that.
Do you remember then explaining that they, meaning the detectives, tried to force Jeffrey Williams or Young Thug into it? Remember saying that?
I think that was something you said, right?
No.
I don't remember that.
So that right there, I think that was what attorney Adrian Love was trying to get Adrian Bean to do, was correct something that was wrong. I think he was trying to get that to happen, but he never cracked. But with Brian Steele, he cracked. He said, I didn't say that. Right? So then they keep on going with the question, they keep on going. And then he's like, then Brian Steele asked him, so you didn't tell me that the police were out to get Young Thug because they had a lot of money and they made you, he was like a big fish to them, right? And he was like, Adrian Bean says, I might have said something like that. So now we're getting somewhere.
Do you remember on Sunday, approximately 11 to 11:22, at Kroger's near your home, stating on recording to Investigator Martin and me that the street everybody wants to go against the man, Young Thug. He's got money. Remember that?
I may have said that.
One more time.
I may have said something like that.
Do you remember explaining that all you know is that Thug is in the studio?
I may have said something like that. I don't remember those still.
Do you also remember giving your opinion that Derek Dotson killed himself? This is a 10-year-old matter and this should be over with. You remember saying that?
Something like that.
And when this happened, what I'm describing right now, when that happened, that was towards the end of the day, pretty much. So that kind of stopped things because Attorney Love, the prosecutor, kind of got up like, it was a little bit of commotion right then because now Adrian Bean remembers things. You understand? And what's the name is about to get some answers. So it was towards the end of the day or whatever like that. So it wasn't too much more cross-examination after that, but it's going to continue when they come back from their break on March 13th. But Brian Steele straight up said to him, you're lying. Like, why are you lying here? Or you are lying. He just told him you're lying. Right. And I was confused about why an attorney is allowed to say that to somebody that's testifying, to straight up tell them you're lying. I wonder what that's about. That's like, what does badgering a witness mean? I thought that badgering a witness would be something like that. But what does it mean then if that's not it? If you as an attorney is straight up telling the person that's testifying that they're lying, which maybe they are lying, but the fact that you're telling them they're lying and not leaving it up to the jury to determine whether or not they're lying, I would assume that should fall in line of what, badgering a witness, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know what badgering a witness means. I just thought that something like that would fall in line with that. I don't know, but y'all let me know what y'all think about that, because now we are really coming up on a month of them dealing with this one incident. Do y'all realize that? I think this week right here was the third week of it, right? I think so. So this is the third week, and then in 2 weeks they come back and do some more. And it's not a full month of court time, but it's a full month of actual time dealing with this one incident. Which, now this is where I say the prosecution is, I think, hurting themselves when they do stuff like this, because if they were just prosecuting this case alone, like back in 2015 when they were starting to prosecute Adrian Bean, Walter Murphy, and the other person, Frederick, whatever his name was, Frederick Prothrow, when they were prosecuting this case back then, had they taken it to trial, this would have been a 1 or 2 day trial, right? Maybe 3 day, because there was a police shooting involved and there was a lot going on. So why are you taking a month to now prosecute something, while it's in this case that you would have taken a day or two to prosecute if it was a standalone? It's like they're prolonging things purposely to anger somebody. I don't know who they're trying to anger. I don't know if they're trying to like drag out and maybe hope that Young Thug runs out of money or something, or I don't know what the angle is here for them to be dragging this case out like this. But I don't see it going favorably for them when it comes to the jury and how the jury is going to be viewing them, because a lot of these seemingly frivolous people that are coming up there to testify are being brought by the state. You know what I'm saying? So, and the jury knows that. The jury knows this is a state's witness. They subpoenaed 400 people, So I think that I don't think they're helping themselves when they do this. I don't think they're helping themselves when they do this at all. So we'll see how the jury feels about this, man. And actually, this will be the shortest Ysl trial recap that I've done since the trial started, because like I said, it was only 1 day of court this week.